So if you come to Germany and you want to flirt a little bit, the good news is you already know how to compliment somebody. You can just say, du bist sexy. Hello and welcome. My name is Kendra and ich bin deine Lieblingsausländerinnen, coming back to you with another video. So I have scoured the internet, and by scoured the internet I mean I went to the second page of Google. Pretty much I've been looking for content, so blog posts, videos, anything about the English loanwords that appear in German, because I find that a lot of the time people talk about the German loanwords that appear in English, and we all know these words: Wanderlust, Kindergarten, Biergarten. There's so many German words that appear in English that we see on a daily basis and that we use on a daily basis, but I couldn't really find anything about the English loanwords that appear in German. And I feel like there are so many of them. I was just watching a video the other day. It was from this YouTube channel called Easy German, and they talk about different themes, and this guy was talking about the Impfung, and in the middle of a sentence he says, oh yeah, actually.
Ich werde morgen geimpft, actually, um 11:10 Uhr, also endlich. Ich habe ein bisschen Glück gehabt.
And that happens pretty often. Randomly in a conversation with a German, you'll hear an English word and just like, wait, what? And then, you know, my brain gets kind of confused because now I'm like, okay, we're speaking Denglish, but then I realize we're just speaking German, but there's so many loan words. So I'm gonna be talking about some of the loan words that Germans use in English. But before we get started, make sure you click that like button and make sure you hit subscribe for more great content. The first group of loan words are loan words that you hear pretty much every day. And the first of these words is, what is the word? Sorry. Sorry. Sorry is a word that you'll hear in German every single day. It's just like, oh, sorry I did that. Sorry we don't have anymore, blah, blah, blah. One of those words that I try to avoid saying. I try to avoid most English loan words because for me, it's awkward when I'm speaking and then I have to switch to an English word, but I have to say it in a German accent, and I'm not used to saying it in a German accent. So anyway, I don't use the word sorry. I say es tut mir leid because I think it sounds awkward when I say it in German. I think it just sounds like I feel like I'm mispronouncing it. And yeah, that's a pretty common word, which leads me to another very common word, which is teenager. So yeah, this is another one of those words where it's just like, oh, you guys use that one too? That's pretty cool. And the last word that Germans use pretty often is party. Yeah, a lot of the time you hear people say, ich will Party gehen oder ein Party machen. And yeah, that's a word that's used pretty often. That's the T on learning German. There are a couple words that are used in English, so if you already speak English, then you already kind of sort of learned some words that are used in German. The next group of loan words are words that are used in the realm of dating. And I like to think that English-speaking rom-coms had an influence on German dating culture. So as a result, these three words entered the German language from English. The first word is sexy. So if you come to Germany and you want to flirt a little bit, the good news is you already know how to compliment somebody. You can just say, du bist sexy. And yeah, that's a word that you hear pretty often here. Another word that you hear pretty often in the dating scene is single. And it's just pretty much somebody who's not in a relationship, just like we use it in English. So you can say, oh, bist du Single? Ich bin Single, blah, blah, blah. And the last word that you hear in German that comes from English is flirten. So you can say like, ich hab geflirtet, hat geflirtet. Flirten is something that you'll hear a lot in German. And daten is actually another English loan word that you hear in German. Daten, wir haben gedatet, again, auf ein Date. You see, now that I think about it, there's a lot of English loan words that have to do with love in German, and I love that. The last group of English loan words that you hear in German are words that I only hear younger people use, really, or words that I've only heard recently used in German. So the first word that I hear pretty often from younger people is chillen. And it just pretty much means to chill. So you can say, ja, ich chille, or wir chillen. And I love that because that's something that we say pretty often in New York. Like, chill could really mean anything in New York, honestly. It can mean like anything from just hanging out, doing nothing, to going on a date. But in German, it just kind of means just like hanging out with friends. And that's something that younger people use pretty often, millennials, Gen Z. And another word that I hear younger people use, or that I just hear and use more in discourse lately, is people of color. And that one for me was just like, And that one for me is also really cool because I think it just speaks to how the German language is becoming more inclusive of different identities. Even if it means taking an English loanword, I just love the fact that that kind of language is being brought into Germany. So yeah, a lot of the time you'll hear somebody speaking and they're speaking like German, 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 and people of color, German, 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 German. And it's pretty common to hear that now, especially as I said, with the different kinds of discourses that are going on within Black communities and the communities of people of color. So the last word, and this is the word that's only recently come to my attention because obviously of the circumstances that we're in, is lockdown. Lockdown, I honestly do not ever want to hear that word again, because if you're from Germany, you know, we were in lockdown for a very, very long time. And yeah, it was like, and if there are any words that I don't want to hear for the rest of my life, it's Welle and lockdown. Yeah, so every time that we had a new lockdown, a soft lockdown, a hard lockdown, you always heard that word being used. I don't actually know how you would translate lockdown in German because the word lockdown is used so frequently. You hear it in politics, Angela Merkel says it, you hear it in conversation, you see it written everywhere. It's just very commonplace to use the word lockdown, and I hope that that's gonna change because I'm tired of hearing the word lockdown. Those are the German words that I hear used most often. No, those are not German words. Those are the English words that I hear used most often in German. And let me know what you guys think about this, because I was just saying to a friend yesterday that I heard that when a new English word comes into the French language, they try to Frenchify it and they create a French word that actually means what the word is trying to say in English. And yeah, I just always wondered, when it comes to older generations of Germans, do they find it komisch that people are using more and more English words in German speech? Personally, I find it really cool, but I've always wanted to know like what older people think. I know that younger people use these words quite liberally, but then you also have older people who just use loan words because the word just doesn't exist in English, or it's been used in German for so long that everybody uses it. It's just very commonplace. But yeah, also if you're an English speaking person, do you also find it interesting when you hear English words in German, and does it throw your brain off like mine is? Okay, so the thing with my brain is I have a German brain and I have an English brain, and then sometimes they get mixed and I have a Denglish brain. But when my German brain is on and I hear English, I'm just like, what? Let me know what you guys think and what other English words you've heard in German that'll make you go. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.